that's the thing I get very confused about. Like, why are we giving out to someone for color of their skin when you don't choose that? Like, if my ancestors were the Vikings and they went and pillaged and killed and all sorts of things, you're not going to be giving out to me about it. Like, it's not my fault.
No. I mean, all of our ancestors for the last thousands of years, it was a very common thing to everybody gets a fucking sword, and you meet on the edges of a little prairie someplace, and everybody runs into the clearing and hacks each other to pieces with the town fucking next to yours. And that was how we settled our differences
That is
in
how
a
it
very
happens.
violent way. All of our ancestors were probably wonderful, but really terrible people. You know, just they were, by today's society, they'd be monsters.
Yeah, like only the last 100 years that we said, like, hold on now a second. And even at that, we had the Great War, and then the Cold War to blow each other up. Ireland's been very happy in those little areas because no one ever wants to fight Ireland. Like, what do you want? Shamrocks? Pot of gold? You want me Lucky Charms? Yeah. Actually, that's one thing I'm very grateful for. Yeah. That's the thing I'm very grateful for. Ireland's one of the safest countries in the world.
Yeah.
Like Swiss thing of like neutrality, no matter what. Don't even have an army. We have a defense force, but it's kind of a show.
And my country's gone completely the other direction. You know, they're trying to be the police force of the whole fucking world. You know, we've got a bigger military in the U.S. than all the other nations of the world combined.
Wrong.
Which is a bit of overkill.
China, bet you guys. China's have you beaten for the last 5-ish years.
Yeah. Well, we're itching for that football match in some ways.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, you guys have secured some peace deals in the Middle East, which is great because it's a bit of chaos at the moment. It's good that these areas are getting back to normal. Like, you guys have done a lot of good. You've done some bad. You've done bad. Soviet Union did worse, but you guys are doing okay. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Compared to China, you guys are pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny old fucking world, you know, because we're all so the economies are so interdependent with each other now that it really makes absolutely no sense to blow each other off the map. The thing that makes our relationship with China so robust is the fact that if they ever killed us, they would go bankrupt. Huh. You know, and if we ever killed them, we'd starve.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're interdependent in that way, where almost every mention of war or every threat, it's kind of just bluster, meaningless bluster.
Yeah.
You know, that once we realized what we had done by arming ourselves nuclearly, I think once we had a couple generations to think about that, or maybe just one generation to think about that, I think that might have ended the worst parts of war.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because it can get so fucking bad in a minute that we might as well just be each other's best customers. Business, in some strange way, greed may actually save us.
International conflicts basically going to be gone. Regional conflicts, they're going to be here for a while. There's some stuff that needs to be sorted. Countries having certain parts of other countries that they shouldn't really have. Like, I know Estonia is still slightly occupied by Russia.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have Northern Ireland. The people have different feelings about that. You know, the United Kingdom having the Falklands, and then Gibraltar in Spain.
Yeah.
There's all these little things that are just getting sorted out. But hopefully we find better ways than just the sticks and the stones.
Yeah. Well, in my lifetime, everything has really changed. I mean, Great Britain used to have India in my lifetime, you know, and Taiwan, and just, you know, there was just things were just in my lifetime, things have really changed. And in your lifetime, you won't be able to recognize this world. And everything is getting gentler, thank God. If you look at it with the right perspective over the last thousands of years, human beings have become far more gentle than they ever have been at any time that in our lifetime. In any time of our written history that we currently have. Also, we're finding out the world is much, much older than we thought it was.
Yeah.
We've probably destroyed ourselves or been destroyed many, many times.
Yeah. And actually, one thing that I found interesting is like civilizations falling. Like Rome lasted for a very long time, and then just gone. If you want to be very technical, they're still kind of around. Turkey kind of claimed to be them when they were the Ottomans. They took over Constantinople and said that they're the heirs of the Roman Empire. And then before that, it was Byzantium that went away in like 1400.
Yeah. But human beings are so smart, though, that civilization can move very, very quickly when we have enough food. So from the time that we invented the airplane until we used an airplane to drop an atomic bomb on Japan was 50 years. 50 years. From riding horses to dropping atomic bombs on people.
Yeah.
So we could, and this Earth has been around for, millions of years. How many times is there time in that timeline to have destroyed ourselves?
Yeah.
Because every time there's an ice age, the ice grinds everything on the planet down to a fine paste. There would be you could have skyscrapers and vistas and, flying cars, and you have an ice age and you cover all the land masses with a mile thick, shell of ice. There's going to be no evidence of it.
Well, no need to worry about that anymore. According to David Attenborough, we leave the ice age in 2030. Like we're really going that way. Like we're technically still in it as long as there's ice on the planet for the entire year or whatever. He says we're going to be out of that soon. And in 2030, the Amazon rainforest will become the Amazon savanna.
Yeah.
It'll run out of moisture and it'll eventually turn into a savanna.
Yeah. And the ocean levels will rise 30 feet globally.
Yeah.
And most of the cities that we know and love are, will be underwater.
Thankfully, we live in the center of Ireland.
Yeah.
Even though we're tiny.
We're actually in like the lowest lands of Ireland as well.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, we're going to be like number one.
Here's another trippy thing that will happen. So there's a giant suspension of ice in Antarctica. And at some point they can tell that things are going to melt there enough where a continent-sized piece of ice is going to drop into the ocean. And when that does, it's going to raise the Earth's water surfaces by 10 feet instantaneously, essentially at the speed of gravity. So it's not even a wave that will go, just the displacement is going to make all of the water go up. And we all just drive our cars around just blissfully ignorant of that could happen at any moment. We could just be driving down the freeway and then find ourselves swimming.
Hey, we started a challenge today if you want to take part.
What are you going to do?
We challenged 10 people to plant a tree. And then the idea is they challenge 10 more people. We planted an apple tree today. One tree. Apple tree is what we did.
All right, I'll plant a tree.
You got to challenge 10 people.
Fuck yeah.
All right. I'll take that challenge.
Actually, I was telling Thomas, I was watching the new David Attenborough documentary and I got pretty upset during it because of how much sadness there was in the guy. Like, you could tell he's basically given up. And for someone like him who's been talking about it his entire life, that's rough. He's talked about it his entire fucking life. Born in 1907. And in 2020, he's still talking about it.
I mean, most old men are sad because they see that they almost get filled with this feeling of futility of who we are.
Yeah, I've seen people like call him like all sorts of names. Like he's been called racist, a neo-colonialist, all these things. I feel terrible for the guy. He's just like, let's plant some trees, let's preserve ecosystems, and then people are like, no, you bad.
Yeah. Well, at least he wasn't friends with David. With Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Well, thank the Lord.
That we know.
Yeah. I think we should wrap it up because
I think we should. We have another person on fairly soon. Man, this was a pleasure.
It was.
Thank you.
I want to do a second part to this sometime, if you'd be up for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, and there's watch the Netflix is they're somebody just recorded this and they're animating the Salvia story, and so there's another documentary company that's making a series about my business partner murdering people. So
what's this all about here with the Netflix series? What's it called?
So there's an animated version of this of the Salvia story that they just filmed a few weeks ago, and it's being animated now, and that will come out next year.
That's awesome.
And a true crime series about the witness protection story will come out sometime next year.
Yeah, because you're an interesting guy. You've had an interesting life, man. Like I'm glad that's going to be out there for me to watch.
Thank you.
We may talk when those are out. What do you reckon?
Yeah, great. Yeah, reach out to me anytime.
Awesome.
Of course. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank Out of the Blank podcast for
shout out of the blank.
Because last time we didn't thank him and he shouted at us over the phone. So love you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for getting on. Thanks to him for getting us in contact with you. And look, have a great day. To everyone who watched or listened, thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Maybe tell your grandma about the podcast. She might like it. And take it handy.
All right.